Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me. Yeah, why would you bet on Goliath when we got Bet-David? Valuetainment, giving values contagious. This world of entrepreneurs, we get no value to hate it. How they run, homie, look what I become. I'm the one.
Smart people, I heard.
Yeah, listen, we've figured something out today on the podcast, folks. If you're listening to this, it's been scientific, it's proven, and two of us are validating it today. Good people and smart people are born in October. Don't let anybody else confuse you. This is proven study done from all the best universities in the world. And today we have an October baby. Not just any October baby. We have a special October baby today who is nothing about the way he fights. You're able to use the word baby with. You can use the word sugar with because it's sweet to watch him fight.
Yep.
That's how I got the nickname.
I know your coaches gave you that name because they said it's sweet to watch you fight. Yeah. And number one, he's got a big fight coming up this Saturday with Vera, and excited about that. I think we're going to the fight with 35 deep. We're going to go there because we want to watch you fight. Yeah, we want to see what you're going to be doing.
That.
We're excited about it, and but there's a lot to be talked about because you're not. There's guys that are good fighters, but they're not good marketers, right? There's guys that are good marketers, but they're not good fighters. Every once in a while, if you can find the two together, you understand marketing, you're a great storyteller, you're a good shit talker, and you can deliver. Now you got something that can turn into a very a face of a league, face of a sport type of a thing. And a lot of people, including myself, see you as someone like that. You even said 2024. You said 23 was your year, but you said 2024. I don't know which interview it was. You said 2024 is going to be the year where I'm gonna get to the Conor type of level. I don't know what interview was this, but you said this. And anyways, having said that, it's great to have you on the podcast.
This is the coolest podcast setup I've ever been on. Beautiful studio.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. It's so badass.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And again, we've been looking forward to this for a minute. There's a few things. So, Rob, can you do me a favor? When I saw what city you grew up in, Helena, Montana, right? First thing I did, I said, okay, what is the profile of a fighter, right? Typically, when someone becomes a fighter, they either had a bad relationship with their dad, okay, where it's kind of like, you're not going to let anybody do what your dad did to you. You either were raised being bullied, you were raised around gangsters, you're a natural athlete. Like there's a lot of guys that are great fighters, that are great athletes. Yeah. And then I went and I typed in gangs in Helena, Montana, okay? By the way, he hasn't seen this. I showed it to Rob.
The great sir.
When I typed in gangs in Helena, California, the first story that popped up was this. Can you click on this, Rob? So it comes up, street gangs in Helena. So zoom in a little bit so I can read it. And this is an 09. This is way before, the world knows who Sugar Sean O'Malley is. It's gang like these that the people of Helena have to put up with, a bit different from the problems in other cities. It proves that every state has their own unique gang problems. They roam the streets, yards night, and they hang out even in the best neighborhoods, and you cannot legally shoot them. Can you show these gangsters, please? Boom.
What
That's the gang.
I was wondering where that was going.
By the way, I had no idea what this article was going to be. I said I had to show it. So from Helena, Montana, you served at the Air Force Base in Montana.
I was in Great Falls, Montana for 5 years, yeah.
How do you go from that? I know you wanted to be an NFL player. That was your dream. You wanted to go into NFL.
Still do.
And then you go into fighting. How did that happen?
Yeah, so I grew up playing sports, baseball, basketball, soccer, and then, football all year round. Every season I was in a different sport since I was probably 4 years old. I turned 16, going into high school, super insecure kid like we all are going into high school. And I didn't have the best grades, hated school from like elementary school. I knew I wasn't going to college when I was like, you don't have to go to college.
Do you like any of the subjects?
No, I hated it all.
Okay.
I didn't even like gym because I was sweat and I wanted to talk to chicks. And I was like, so I didn't even like gym, but I like sports. But so I hated school. 16 years old, didn't really get the best grades. That was an issue, like to play school sports. And I thought, I'm gonna try kickboxing. I'm gonna start boxing, and maybe I can get some chicks, maybe I get some confidence. And I could compete without having to get good grades. It was not school related. Mm-hmm. Started boxing naturally, was like pretty good at hitting mitts, and for the most part all we did was spar, and I was like doing good. I'd switch stances, kind of had my own style, didn't really learn how to stand orthodox, throw a jab, throw a right hand, throw a left hook. I just kind of would go in there and, be an athlete, and I was doing really good. So I had my first, kickboxing fight when I was 16. I think I had 4 kickboxing fights, 4 boxing fights from 16 to 17. Started MMA when I was 18. And I knew I was like, looking back, I don't really remember exactly what age where I decided like, okay, this is it 100%. But I moved to Phoenix when I was 19 years old to train because in Montana, there's no gyms you can really make it to the next level. You can, I feel like I got a lot of experience being from Montana because I was able to fight so much. It was easy to find fights there. There was no commission. So I fought 3 times in a month at one point. Wow. And there was just a lot of people willing to fight. Not skilled fighters, but just people willing to fight. Got a lot of experience in Montana. So I think that was a huge part of my confidence because I was knocking people out at an early age. 16 years old, I'm knocking grown men out. 17 years old, I'm knocking grown men out. And so I just believed I had this power.
When did you learn about this?
16. Just first fights. I was dropping people. Just
street or like
no.
Organized.
Organized.
So Sean, in school there was no like bullying, nobody messing with you. It was
not
pretty
really
straightforward.
Yeah, not really. I was insecure, like going to school, but I never really got bullied or picked on. It was mostly just like I wanted to compete, wanted to keep doing sports, but I just hated school.
Who were you in high school? Were you like the cool cat people knew they liked?
No, I was kind of jealous of the jocks because I love sports, but I also didn't get along with those guys. Like it wasn't like I just didn't get along with those guys. I didn't really get along with the skateboarders or the stoners. I feel like it was just me and a couple of buddies who just had our own little clique, and we didn't have beef with anybody. We kind of got along with everyone, but we didn't hang out with many people in ourselves.
How many of those guys now message you or DM you or text you and say, hey, Sean, remember me from 9th grade? Have you gotten any of those messages or no?
Yeah. My buddy Cody Webster and Elias Moore is like 2 of the kids that I hung out with the most. And it was, I don't talk to them often, but I still keep in touch.
How about the other guys, the jocks, the guys that were the athletes?
Oh, they don't. Yeah, I don't really talk to. I'm hard to get to now. Like I don't have Instagram, Twitter on my phone. I have someone else kind of look at that for me. I actually recently did that going into this camp. I feel like it changed my life, to be honest.
Respect.
Just like the anxiety. Not that I had bad anxiety, but you just had this like level of anxiety from surfing on your phone, checking Instagram, looking at things that I deleted that. That can be a whole nother topic, but so I'm harder to get to. So I changed my number multiple times since I've moved. So, everything gets filtered out for the most part, but people hit up my family, hit up my brothers, and they're like, hey, tell Sean I said, good luck and stuff like that. But
what prompted that? What prompted the going on a diet with social?
It's just, you can just feel it. Like, I guess the biggest part is I have a 3-year-old daughter. And it's like I'd be outside pushing her on the swing, kind of surfing through Instagram. Like, what am I, like, just like catching myself in that, like, what am I doing? She's growing up so fast, and I'm here pushing her on a swing while I'm kind of surfing. And I'm like, I'm going to put a timer on it. And you put a timer on it, timer pops up, you put your password in, timer's gone. You keep surfing. I'm like, that didn't work. I'm going to completely get rid of it off my phone. And I have my assistant that I can still make posts. I still can check stuff when I need to. I can still make sure I get business stuff done because that's where I make a lot of my money is through social media. So I don't hate it. I just needed to limit it, and I wasn't disciplined enough to just put a timer on. I gotta get this shit off my phone.
Dude, it's not easy to do. Good for you, because especially if your business is social. Like there's people, like you know who's typically not on social media? Hollywood actors. Have you noticed this? Like a lot of big Hollywood name actors are not. Don't think point. Dwayne and some of these guys.
That guy's. He's
by the way, you know who just got on Instagram last week?
Who?
Charles Barkley.
Shut up.
He just got on Instagram.
I hate
Did you know that?
No.
He literally just got on Instagram. Barkley. First time ever he got on Instagram. And then I don't know if you guys saw this clip. If you can type in Rob, type in Barkley, type in Shaq, type in OnlyFans. This is how much Charles knows about all this stuff. So if you can, it's a short clip. If you can go to it, it's hilarious. Where is that the one? Let me see. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. Okay, rewind. Put it from the beginning and play. Yeah, go ahead and play this. Watch this.
And every time you send out a picture of you, you got a hashtag OnlyFans.
Watch his reaction. He doesn't know what it means.
Do you know what OnlyFans is?
Whatever picture you send out, just hashtag OnlyFans.
No, listen to for OnlyFans of mine? No.
Oh, God.
He doesn't know what's going on. There is.
Look, he's covering his face.
OnlyFans is... I'm not even explaining this on back. I'm not even...
Shaq's hilarious.
Just hashtag Charles Barkley /OnlyFans.
No, that's a site that you do not
Look at this. You can tell innocently he doesn't know. But there is a form of liberation of not being on it. You know who used to do that when he would go into the playoffs? LeBron James.
I believe it.
Yeah, LeBron James, the moment playoffs would start,
Off of
phones
social media?
off, zero social media. He wouldn't tweet. He wouldn't do anything. At least this is the image he would give until playoffs was done with, or they lose, because most often he would lose, or, you know, the whole thing is done with. That's what he would do. But I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I think so too, especially with so many kids nowadays dealing with anxiety and depression. It's like it probably comes from a lot of their parents just surfing and being on their phones, and they're just passing down the anxiety to their kids. And all these kids have issues now in middle school and high school, and it's a tornado. I mean, social media is not the worst thing ever, but you just have to have a level of discipline to be able to be on it. And I mean, even I feel like I'm a very disciplined, routine person, but I was like, I had to delete it off my phone, at least for a little bit. Like it's been.
When's the last time you posted something? You personally?
A couple days ago, because I travel with my assistant. So if I need to post something, because I have brand deals that I have to, deliverables, I need to post, boom, 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 post and ghost, and that's it.
Got it. Well, good for you to have that kind of discipline. Is that if somebody's on the inside and they watch you, are you a hardcore routine guy? Because I know you talk a lot about sleep. You talk about what you intake. You talk about how drinking coffee is 8 hours. You can have one, but you have an 8. Have you always been this detailed?
No, I started getting I pick up good healthy habits and routines each fight camp more and more and more. When I'm dialed in for fight camp, I like to do 12 weeks, about 3 months of just. I'm pretty disciplined outside of fight camp, but when I'm in camp, everything's to a T, like sleep, what I'm eating, the caffeine intake. I usually do that out of camp too, because I don't like messing with my sleep. But yeah, I would say it all stemmed from wanting to be the greatest fighter of all time, and that's where it's like, okay, I need to go above and beyond, and need to do the little things that are going to help me get a little bit better. That's going to make me stand out a little bit more, and I feel like it's been a huge role in my career is doing those little healthy habits.
Did you say the greatest fighter of all time?
I would love. I'm not too set on like legacy and like, because once we're dead, we're dead. I'm not really worried about that, but it'd be cool. I mean, I'm in a position to where I can be. Like, I just knocked out the greatest bantamweight of all time. I'm about to defend my title live on pay-per-view, UFC 299, and I got big fight, big options next. So I like to have options, but I do think when it's all said and done, I could be considered one of the greatest of all time if the career plays out how I think it's going to play out, and it's played out so far how I thought it was going to play out. So,
who do you have right now as the greatest? Like, if you're speaking that language, I've interviewed a lot of guys, and you can tell when somebody speaks that language and somebody doesn't. It's a big difference, right? When you talk to Kobe speaks that language, and he knew that from early on when he's ranked the 56th best high school player in the world. He's like one by one until he became the best, and he goes into the NBA. He knew everybody's stats, almost like a historian. Is that kind of who you are? And if yes, who inspired you to think and have this mindset, or is it just your DNA?
I'm not like that as far as stats and stuff like that, but the greatest of all time, it'd be hard to argue against John Jones or Khabib. He went 30-0. And then if you want to talk even boxing, Floyd, I think when he was 50-0, never lost. Like that's legendary. Never losing is hard to do. John Jones is in that same boat. He had that weird fight but I mean, everyone considers it, never lost. Khabib never lost. Floyd never lost. So, I'd like to be in that category. I got a couple weird things on my record, but, I don't really count that shit. And I don't think most people, and then after Saturday, I don't think a lot of people are going to count that. So,
well, I mean, if you can unpack that, because I know what you're talking about, the weird thing.
Yeah.
You're talking to Joe, and you're like, I don't feel like I lost.
Yeah.
And Joe's like, but, he did. He's like, no, but there's what was it called?
Perennial
drop
nerve.
Foot? Or,
I got drop foot. Perennial nerve. He did kick me. I'm not arguing that. I got kicked by him. He threw the kick. It hit my nerve. My foot went numb. I had these ankle wraps on that were way too tight. Sometimes that nerve comes back, and you're able to. My nerve did not come back. I rolled my ankle like 7-8 times, and the rest is history. But mentally, I didn't feel like I lost to that guy. I didn't feel like his skills were better than me, and that was 3.5 years ago, and now I'm defending the title against that same guy.
Yep.
So, we get to see who is right and who is wrong. The reason I say it like that is just because how many thousands of kicks have been thrown since then, and how many times has that happened, that same nerve, that same spot. It's a very rare thing, so I always called it, a fluke and blah, blah, blah.
Is it psychological? Like, is it, like, for example, talk to a group, and they'll say, well, let me tell you, you know what? Like, I remember one time I came to one of my Florida offices, Plantation, and all the guys in this office were like, I said, why is everybody late? 30 minutes people are late. Why are people coming in so late? Is this because none of our offices are people late? Your office, everybody's late? And they said, it's a Florida thing. Pat, you don't know it's a Florida thing. I said, this is not a Florida thing. Standards are standards no matter where you go. So don't try to convince me that that's normal. That's your normal. It ain't my normal. So how much of it is like you don't want to accept that yourself to allow that little possibility of questioning yourself in?
None. I don't. I think if I were to go out there and lose that fight and he just beat me skill for skill, I just lost that fight. I don't think it would really bother me. This doesn't really bother me either. It's just that's just how I truly feel. Like it's not because I'm trying to keep this level of undefeated. Like no one can beat me. It's not that at all. It's just the way it played out. It just doesn't feel like I got outskilled. And if you watch the fight, most people kind of see it. He was about to be on my highlight reel sooner than later. But, yeah. And
let's not forget, that fight, Rob, was it in August of 2020?
Yes.
I think it was August of 2020, right? Like the fight was almost this is like the worst time of COVID. This is when we thought zombies are coming up, right? This is when you were like...
There was like 5 people there was no audience.
Oh,
you just heard
you don't
every
hear
step.
Every step. Yeah, it was...
I fought in the Apex 3 times. I fought in that same arena, that small cage, which is super weird. In the UFC, you have a small cage and a big cage.
Right.
It's like in that, playing half court at an NBA game sometimes. It's a weird cage.
Yeah, is it a big adjustment when you're fighting in that versus...
Way different.
Because you're in front of each other.
It's like playing half court football or basketball.
That makes sense.
It's like playing, it's half the size for the most part. I think it's like 44% smaller.
Who does that benefit, like in a fight?
I think it would benefit like, wrestlers, grapplers, guys that want to get a hold of you. I love the big cage. That's when I fought Aljo in Boston, big cage. My main goal, do not let this motherfucker grab me.
Yeah.
Make him make a mistake, make him overcommit, take his head off. Pretty much what I did. But yeah, it's,
So Sean, since you're fighting Vera again, and it's been almost 4 years.
Wow.
Any adjustments? Like, is your camp? Are you basically taking that same route? You've obviously grown to be a better fighter. Anything different? Because you're fighting the same guy. Does anything change?
If it's not broke, don't fix it. I feel like other than that fight, I've never lost a fight. Everything I'm doing is, it's working. So I'm going to continue to do what we're doing. Each guy, we fight Aljo, we bring in guys like Aljo. We fight Chito, we fight, spar guys like Chito. It's like you just kind of have your sparring partners try to emulate the guys you're fighting and do the same shit because it's been working.
Mentally, is anything like on your mind that the last time you faced this guy or zero? You're like, nope, just going to take it as another fight that I'm going into.
Yeah, 100%. Just another guy, just another fight, just another Saturday.
Do you have a set prediction what you think is going to happen?
The thing about Chito is he's very, very durable. I think he's got 20 plus UFC fights, never been dropped, never been knocked out, never been submitted. All of his losses have went to a decision. Very tough guy, very durable. He's got good cardio. He's a very dangerous opponent. Dangerous opponent. I know you said I'm a pretty heavy favorite, which I agree, can't deny that, but it's a very, very tough fight. This is not an easy fight by any means. With that being said, neither was Aljo. Aljo was not I think, in my opinion, Aljo was the toughest fight in the division for me, and I went out there and knocked him out in 2 rounds. So I do have this confidence that I could put Chito's lights out or win a decision, but it's not an easy fight by any means.
Sean, what's Vera's biggest strength fighting wise? I know, but besides cardio and stuff like that, what's his like go-to thing? Like
durability.
It just lasts.
He's obviously skilled. You don't get to where we're at not being skilled, but durability is a real thing. People can get tired beating you up. Like Nick and Nate Diaz made a career out of that. You get tired of beating someone up, and then you kind of take over and put it on them. So I'd say that.
God, because Diaz brothers, you watch those guys fight, you're like, he's done.
Yeah.
No, he's just getting started.
Yeah,
you're like another round and another, and then all of a sudden he wins. How did this thing? What round was it when he beat Conor Diaz? Was it like in the?
It was only in the third, I think.
Third round when he beat him. Yeah. And then the next fight when Conor came back, he adjusted. Is there anything you adjust? Because if you remember when the first time they had the fight, Conor Diaz would go down and he would almost welcome him, and Conor would go, and then he got caught. But the next time they fought, every time he would drop, because he dropped him 2 or 3 times, he just would stay up. He says, nope, I'm now coming down to fight your fight. Is there anything you're adjusting with Vera?
Not really. Our fight was like 2 minutes. Didn't play out very long. And I felt like what I was doing was working. Obviously, I got to address the leg kicks. That's where he kicked my nerve. But that's with every single fight. I got to, it's like dealing with someone's jab, dealing with someone's right hand, dealing with someone's wrestling, dealing with someone's leg kicks. It's like I got to, take care of that with everybody I fight. But even that all played out 2020, 3.5 years ago. It's like I went on a tear after that fight. That was, I look at that as a blessing in disguise. Because say I go out there and beat Chito, it's like then I get rushed to the top too fast. And my career might not play out the way it's played out. So I look at that fight as a blessing in disguise. I had one of my best performances ever, one of the sweetest knockouts of Thomas Almeida, where I dropped him like 3 times. He's laying on his back. I dive on him.
That was
right.
Beautiful the way it ended.
That fight doesn't happen if what happened in that fight didn't play out the way it did. So I've never looked at it and like, God, that just drives me crazy. It really, really doesn't. Because I was able to have such sweet performances after.
That's the fight where you knocked him out twice, right? It's like
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because you thought they were going to stop him, and you stepped back. The ref didn't come in, and you went back in and again. And it ended very bad for him because he was on the ground when you hit him, and you're looking at the ref like, you really want me to punch this guy?
Yeah.
I dropped him in the first round with a nasty head kick, kind of walked off.
Yeah.
The dude was, eyeballs were like, whoa. The ref he gets back up. I let him back up. And then the third round, drop him with the left hand. He falls to his back. I kind of walk off. The ref doesn't stop it. Jump on him.
He could have stopped that fight. The ref could have stopped it, and nobody would have said anything.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, though. If he did, nobody would have been pissed off because it's like, yo, dude, you were getting in his
But
ass.
also sometimes in certain fights, like, when they get in, you're like, what are you doing? Like,
I feel like more people would have been pissed off if they stopped it.
I think so. Yeah,
people want to see. Even that Aljo fight, people were complaining about it being a late or early stoppage. But once the UFC comes out with this documentary they shot, and they have some crazy slow-mo footage of his eyes is like rolling back. It's like the ref's standing above the guy knocked out, watching his eyes.
Yeah.
So the ref's making the best decision in the moment. Okay,
Right.
This dude is not fighting back.
Yeah.
People are like, yeah, but he turned his back. He was going to try to get up. It's like, yeah, but I wasn't the one knocked out. I was the one punching him, and he's the one giving me his back. What do you guys think I'm going to do? Let him up? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to get better for him because he turned his back.
Sean, who's the toughest guy you fought?
Peter Yan and Aljo were both tough fights. Chito's definitely up there when it just comes to pure toughness and durability. Chito's probably up there for sure.
Yeah. Did you, by the way, I like watching him fight as well.
He's fighting this weekend too.
Yeah, I know. I really like watching him fight. It was one fight that he had. I don't know which fight it was. When you watch him, very interesting style of fighter he is.
Yeah, very skilled.
Yeah, very skilled. Didn't you just recently, what story did you tell about how you ran into, is it Umar? Who was it you ran into in the bathroom and he was washing his feet?
Yeah. So I guess that's a religious thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that at the time. I'm like, and I was like, I don't know. I was trying to ask myself, I'm like, was he washing his hands maybe? But no, yeah, it was like he was washing his feet. But yeah, I guess that's a religious thing. So I didn't mean to, say anything negative about it. I don't think I did, but I was,
No, I don't think anybody received it as negative. It's just maybe you just don't know culturally how. So, by the way, he's the cousin. Is he the cousin of Khabib? I think he's a. Is he friends or cousin?
Oh,
There you go, cousin.
Yeah.
So he's Khabib's cousin. So what's his? Is he?
He just fought. He's in the same weight class.
He's in the same weight class.
Yeah.
Where's he ranked at right now?
I don't think he's ranked, but it's because no one will fight him, supposedly. I guess the UFC's offered him a bunch of fights. They had to bring in some random Russian to fight him last weekend, some 17-1 guy. So that that's a big, Irish-Russian fight. That
Why do you think he's not ranked?
13.
Oh, he's ranked number 13. Okay. But he's the guy that a lot of people are talking about. So would he be like, meaning for someone like you, okay, let's just say Vera's fight is done with, okay? And you're right. You're saying you got him, tough fight, durable.
Yeah.
No one knocks him out, and you're a knockout artist. So if you do, that's a very, very big deal if you do, because it hasn't happened. So the market's going to react to that, and that's what everyone's going to be talking about 100%. So I'm excited about that. We'll be there ourselves, like I told you. We're going 35 deep because we want to watch you fight. But would he be somebody, or would it be more like in your mind, have you thought about, am I going to increase weight? Am I going to stay here? What's good? Because you've seen other guys do it and it didn't work out for them. So are you kind of monitoring and saying, I don't know if I want to go this way. I want to pull guys to come this way. What do you think in some of the next moves?
Yeah, for someone like Umar, it's like he has a big name because it's Nurmagomedov. That's the reason. No one really knows him, so he's got some fights to win. as far as like, let's build. I want big fights. I want massive fights. Merab's done a good job. Like 3-4 fights ago, he's so boring. He just holds on to people. But now he's kind of just done it to so many people. It's interesting. It's like, okay, can he do this to everyone? So Merab's an interesting guy. He's on a 10-fight win streak. Aljo was on a 9-fight win streak when I knocked him out. You know, they're very similar styles. I believe I knocked Merab out. That's potentially a big fight next. Ilya Tilapia just beat Alexander Volkanovski. You know, I would like to get that fight in Spain someday.
Oh, wow, that'd be sick.
I think, you know, I go out there and get a couple more knockouts. He goes out there and gets a couple more knockouts. That fight's massive. I mean, I was kind of calling for it next after Chito if things go as planned.
You versus Umar?
Ilya Topuria just knocked out Alexander. Champ. Going up to 145.
Well, he's 145.
So
But I got a lot of hate on that. I was like, you know, this would be a crazy fight. People would love to see that. The fans...
Oh, God.
But the fans always hate on confidence. They hate on, like, I'm like, this will be a sweet fight. And the fans are like, no, you need to fight Merab. You're ducking Merab. I'm like, all right, I'll knock Merab out next. But that's really what you guys
Zoom
want.
in a little bit, Rob. Zoom in a little bit if you could. So Merab is right behind you.
Yep, Merab's number one. Aljo moved up. He's fighting at 145 on UFC 300. Corey's there. He's deserving.
Peter's going to be there.
Yeah, crazy division. Davison Figueiredo moved up from 125, knocked out or beat Rob Font. He's fighting Cody Garbrandt.
Dominic Cruz still in there, huh?
Dominic Cruz somehow still kicking.
Wow, I'm like, damn, he's old, huh?
Yeah, he's
Umar,
older.
For a
Umar's
minute.
13.
Yeah.
So
Monster division.
So Umar, when is Umar fighting next?
He just fought last weekend and won. Won a decision.
Have they announced yet the next thing, or it's not going to be announced? Probably
No.
another couple months or something,
Yeah, he's
right?
yeah.
I think that would be a very, very exciting fight.
It definitely will be if he goes out there. And the thing about Umar is he's pulled out of so many fights. He gets injured. He's pulled out of 3, 4, 5 fights. So like taking a fight against him is dangerous. It's like, God, is this guy going to show up? Are they going to switch it last minute?
What's the UFC's rules against that?
I mean, if you get injured, it's like
Has he pulled out 3 or 4 times because it's all injury? He's injury prone, or
I think last couple of times were injury prone. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's.
You're like protocol, because I remember when Conor was fighting, gonna fight Aldo. Aldo got his rib injured, right? So he had to fight
Chad Mendes.
So it's like, I mean, yeah, how can you prove, okay, it's not broken, I'm sore? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think in his case, there are serious injuries, but yeah. So, I mean, but will that be a big fight someday? I do believe so. Conor versus Khabib, you know, at bantamweight, basically.
Oh, wow.
damn.
That'd be a sick fight.
I mean, that's kind of like that was. I mean, that was that's essentially the biggest pay-per-view fight ever. I think 3 out of the top 5 biggest pay-per-view fights ever have Conor in the ticket.
I
3
think
out of
like
5.
7 or 8 of the 10. Yeah, that was like that's goals.
What do you think made him that? Was it how much of it was skill set? How much of it was his actual abilities? How much of it was his ability to market, promote, drive fights?
Yeah, I think.
No, you got to go UFC. You're going boxing. So if you go top UFC, there you go, pay-per-view fights ever. Go
It was a mixture between being able to talk, being able to sell a fight, as far as being able to, you know, talk the way he talks, his accent, his witty. But it also comes down to performances. A lot of people, I feel like, think I'm in this position because I have crazy hair, I have face tattoos, or I say wild shit. But it's like, go look at my highlight reel. That's why I'm in this position.
No, your highlight reel is pretty wild. I mean, you got stuff that's 10, 20, 30 million plus views.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one. I think
2.4. Jesus.
Dude,
Nowadays it's so hard, especially with the generation. It's so easy to go stream it on some illegal platform. It's just like, you know, people tend to do that more. I think with a card like this, $299 being stacked, like some people are like, God, it's a main event I want to watch. I don't want to buy the whole card. Oh, I want to watch 2 fights on the card. But with the UFC $299 being stacked, Peter Yan and Song Yadong are opening up the card.
Oh, wow.
Opening
up the main card. It's an incredible fight. It's an incredible fight card. So I feel like, it's worth.
And remember, last time Dana reported, Miami was the number 1. It beat out New York, right? Madison Square Garden. It beat, I don't know what the number was, but he specifically said Miami's the new LA. Miami's what LA used to be 10 years ago. Go back up, Rob. So you got who? You got obviously the main fight, big fight. Everyone's looking for Dustin Poirier against,
Benoit St.
Benoit, got it. And you got Kevin Holland against Page.
Michael Venom Page is making his
Gilbert
debut.
And
Jack Della Mandela. Some crazy fight names on there, huh?
This is good. This should be exciting. But you know, for me, I'm just watching you, seeing what's going to be the next thing. That's the next big. I think UFC. It'll be interesting to see what's the next big fight. Even with Conor and Chandler, right? They're talking about, you know, you made some comments about that. You said you don't know if it's good for him to come back because of the money that he's already made. Whether he'll be. You said something in that context, right? Or
I don't. I say a lot of shit, but I want to see Conor come back. I'm one of the biggest Conor fans since I remember. I think the first time I watched him fight was Max Holloway years ago. So I'm a huge Conor fan, and people always try to almost make it seem like I'm not a hater because I'm trying to be bigger than Conor, and it sounds like in a negative context. But I was like, Conor's my, he's the one of the people I looked up to, especially in fighting. So I would love to see Conor come back. I'd love to see Conor come back and win. Although I do like Michael Chandler as a person. I think he's a good person. And it sucks when it's fighting. But yeah, I would love to see Conor come back and keep doing massive pay-per-views.
Who do you think would win if those guys, because Chandler on a daily basis is training. Chandler's life is still. Yeah. This is his life. He does some business here and there, but Chandler, every day he's posting videos of
the gym,
how hard he's training, how prepared he is.
Fuck. Yeah, I mean, that definitely plays a role going into a fight. Who knows what Conor's doing? Sometimes you know what he's doing. He's on a yacht, but he's got a gym. He said
he's popping out like every week. There's another kid coming out, and he's like, "Drink this whiskey." I'm like, "Damn, bro." He is just drinking and hooking up. Bro. I mean, God bless the family. His family's huge.
How many kids is it 3 or
four now?
I think 4. And another one's on the way, bro.
It feels like all of this just happened. By the way,
he's like, "What the fuck?" He's just pumping those things.
He's probably got 4 kids, like under 6 or something like that.
Can you zoom in, Rob?
Bro, he has a tribe.
Yeah, I want a tribe someday.
Dog, good for you, bro.
Where's he at? Personal, see how many kids he's got.
I'm gonna say 4, and he's going on 5. Like
personal life, he's been in a relationship with D.
Yeah, D.
So wait,
4 and I think one more is on the way. So can I ask you a question, Sean? How much? So I forgot. I saw something with you, a documentary or something, where they're like, especially with you know, people were like talking crap because you weren't jumping in trying to go for like with the #1 rank, or you weren't fighting for those type of fights. You have to build your name first, and then you get to the top to fight. How much of that, like the image, the style, the shit talking, all that, how much does that play into that whole game of the fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, coming up in the UFC, you get paid, your first couple fights, everyone gets paid pretty much the same. And then each fight, people can negotiate contracts differently. But, I mean, if you're your third fight deep, you're not going to be making a couple $100,000. You know what I mean? So it's like when I'm getting offered these guys that aren't in the top 15, top 10, I'm like, hell yeah. I wouldn't even want to fight the number 7 guy making 40 and 40. Like, I want to be, when I fight these guys that are, tough, Pedro Munoz, Peter Yan, like these, I want to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then when I'm obviously the champ, I'm going to be making millions. But so I was never complaining about how fast I moved up. I enjoyed it. I was young. I got in the UFC when I was 23. I didn't need to be fighting the top guys in the world. And the UFC is also, a business, business, but they're a business. So, I think I just trusted them, and they just kind of, it was as simple as that.
You know how in boxing, like for example, Oscar De La Hoya, I have Ryan Garcia here on the podcast a couple weeks ago, right? Yeah, and he's a big fan of yours, by the way. I know you guys are fans of each other. You guys say a lot of nice things to each other.
Did you guys see him real quick? Did you see me saying he could beat me in a
UFC fight? You have that, Rob. If you want to pull up that clip.
The moment Pat said that to me, everybody's face in that meeting was like, dude, one of your leg kicks to a stomach to somebody like that was a wrap.
I think that was a little bit of the booger sugar talking, though, if I'm being honest.
I'll beat his ass in MMA, guaranteed.
In MMA?
Yeah, I'm a natural. You don't understand. I'm a natural wrestler. I just beat my security that's a wrestler. I beat him. I'm strong, and I got crazy conditioning.
So most people in your position would want him to come over to boxing.
No, but that's already been done.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to knock him out in boxing. That's not even fair. What is fair is to test myself in MMA, because I know if I put my mind to it and I trained every day, and I had Nate helping me, even Alex Pereira, all of them, and I really locked in, he will not beat me. I will come with everything I have, and I would destroy Sean O'Malley.
In the UFC.
In the UFC.
I highly doubt it, bro.
I've already sent text messages to Dana.
Yes.
I've already got people that are
That's like
connected
humor,
to
though. I
Dana.
think
That
you
asking,
like
let's do
stand-up
this.
skits.
I'll come to UFC.
pull the
Pay me
trigger
a bag.
and
I'm
die.
there. I'm down to do it.
Any
After I
response?
beat Haney. No.
Bro, maybe he's
Yeah,
trying
no.
to save. Yeah, maybe he's trying to save your life, not to get in a ring with a dude that uses
But what
his
would
legs.
happen? What would happen if you guys actually got into a UFC fight?
I mean, would depend. What do you want to see? You want me to choke him? You want me to knock him out? You want me to kick his leg? What do you want me to do? I'll do whatever you
But I
want.
mean, you
I can do
obviously-
anything to
You don't
him.
want him to get that too close. I mean, he's a let's not front. He's a boxer, but you have everything.
Boxing distance is like this.
Yeah, yeah.
MMA fighting distance, little gloves is a little bit. It's a different,
It's a different,
distance.
yeah, exactly, and
So it's
especially
a-
with that big, with the ring. Yeah,
What do you think would happen though if you guys actually fought?
I would talk to the team. I would say, hey boys, you want me to knock him out or submit him? I'd let people pick. I'd probably do some polls. Say, do you guys want me to knock him on my left hand, my left foot? I'd probably do some games and figure out.
Okay, what if we put this?
You
Purely,
tell me how I want to finish, and Mike.
But by the way, here's what I would want to know. Honestly, my main curiosity would be the following. It's, you know how Elon just announced that he's gonna be building the first car that's gonna do 0 to 60 in 1 second.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? You're 60. It's like freaking scary yourself going that fast. But if the race was 0 to knockout
Oh, good
or
question.
submission, how long do you think you would need to get them done?
That's a good question.
Great question.
In UFC, not boxing, in UFC.
So I think the fastest way to victory then would be probably choke him. I probably could choke him in a couple minutes.
Oh, you would need 2 minutes. So you think it'd be a 2 minute thing?
Could be. That's being humble. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Shaw's a G.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Now, so 2 minutes. Okay, so it wouldn't be a Masvidal type of thing with him against, what happened.
2 seconds to shoot. That
Yeah,
was,
just jump
6,
on your
7
knee.
seconds, whatever. That was weird.
I think if you watch that fight back from 5 minutes to like 4:57 is actually when I think it was like 2 or 3 seconds he sprinted across. The clock kept going until and there was an extra few, but I think it was really only 2 or 3 seconds. But yeah, that's very rare. That's a very rare instance.
What was Conor's knockout? What
13.
13 seconds.
Yeah, it was hopping. Yeah, and
It was
planned it.
Aldo.
came in, left, boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Aldo also connected, but Aldo's wasn't as 13 seconds. Got it. So how about if you guys box? You and Ryan box.
See, now that's competitive. That's more competitive. I wouldn't be the favorite by any means. It would be more competitive. Do I believe I could beat Ryan in a boxing match? Yes. Do I think it'd be very, very difficult? Yeah. I would be up for the challenge. It would be fun. I would enjoy the process of getting there. I would enjoy, switching, doing something fun. But the chances of him beating me in MMA are 0. The chances of me beating him in boxing are a lot more than 0. But still, he's been boxing his entire life. But I still believe I could take him out.
How about street fight?
Well, that's even street fight's the same as MMA. He has 0 chance. I've been fighting, really fighting for 13 years, and at a high level, I think for about 10 years. So it's just not even. It's comical that he even says that.
So let's bring it up to the one part. So, okay, boxing, he's got the favorite, but it's closer. UFC, you'll win. Street fight, you'll win. Mayweather fights Conor, right?
Yeah.
Conor won what? 9 rounds, 10 rounds? I think he won 10 rounds. Can you see how many rounds Conor won?
I think he, watching it looked like he did, but I think the judges didn't give it to him like that. I think Conor only won a few. Well, let's pull it up.
Not win. How many rounds he went? Not win.
Oh,
I want to know how many
okay.
rounds
Yeah,
they
yeah.
went. My
I think it was-
apologies.
I think you're at 9 or 10.
Can you check to see how long how long that fight lasted? Was it 10 rounds they went, or
Was it a 10-round fight and they went 9, or was it a 12-round fight and they went 11 or 10?
do you have it? It should be categorized for.
It won't be in that.
No, it won't be there. It's going to be if you go to Mayweather boxing.
Oh, right there. Go down a little bit. Boxing right there. Mayweather, money fight. Oh, it didn't say. Okay.
It doesn't say how many. Okay,
He did
so
good.
I thought he did really good. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? I was like, wait a minute. This was actually 10 rounds. Okay, 10 round. So TKO in the 10th round. Okay, respect.
Connor's a lot bigger.
I know.
A lot bigger than Floyd.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So then the question would be the following, just purely for shits and giggles, for us fans who out there, like questions like this. Your peak boxing against Conor boxing, who comes out?
Connor, peak. I don't even really hit 160 when I'm heavy. That dude's walking around like 195 right now, 185. He's just a big fucker.
He is. And he's getting bigger,
And he's
bro.
just getting bigger. So, I don't necessarily love my odds against that. But just boxing, it's like speed kills, and I'm pretty quick. But, out of respect, I'll say Conor can knock me out.
Look at this guy. Bro, what the hell is this
He's
guy
huge.
on,
But
bro?
he's not going to fight like that. I'm talking about, like, let's just say weight class. Let's pick a weight. What's the lightest he ever fought
I think
at?
I have the best. I think I have better skills. I can stand both. I can stand southpaw orthodox and have very good defense. Both very good offense. Both. I think I have the best striking in MMA, hands down. To be honest, or hands up.
What's the lightest he ever fought?
145.
Okay, so you're fighting what weight?
135. I can fight at 45.
Okay, so I'm saying 145 to 145. Who wins?
It's a good question. Conor in his prime at 145 when he knocked out Jose Aldo, and me moving up to 145, I'd still be a little bit lighter, but I'm taller. I believe I'm faster. I think it'd be a competitive fight back in the day when he was 145.
Well, no, not today. I'm talking purely 145. So you're giving the slight edge to yourself. It sounds like.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, that would be. I mean, we'll never see it. That's the thing that you'll never see it.
Well, we can
That's
think.
fun.
You can do it in video game.
I was
You
about to
can say, hey, I want to
100%.
play a 1-4. By the way, somebody should do it. Somebody should do a simulation.
Somebody, yeah, please.
And just someone's going to make this clip here and just going to see what's going to happen with it. Choose Conor 145. Whoever's doing the video game stuff.
I don't know if I'm at 145 in the game. I don't know if you can do that.
Damn, could they match him up? Somebody has to.
Even if you can do 135 against 145, I'd love to
might be able
see
to.
just purely what that simulation would look like. Well, matter of fact, do you have Rob? Do you have ChatGPT?
There you go.
Let's go to advanced. Hey,
That's so funny.
go to ChatGPT. You're not logged in. Okay, see if you can log into your account, and we'll wait for
If
you.
not, you want me to? I can do it on my phone.
Nah, I just want to know. Like, listen, I just want to. Sam Altman. He claims this is a $7 trillion company. Okay, he's being sued right now by Elon Musk. Musk is not happy because him and Musk started this as a nonprofit. He turned it into profit. Musk steps away, and Musk is sitting there saying, "Wait a minute, what are you doing? This was never supposed to be profit." And now you're with Microsoft. Microsoft is a competitor to
Big time.
So Musk is suing Altman right now. Did you hear about this or no?
because he said it was open AI source. Now it's closed, and you're doing profit.
Yeah. So anyways, I'd be curious to know. Obviously, you have to always trust the internet. You have to always trust ChatGPT.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
So, Sean, just really fast while he's logging in, weight wise, do you stay at your weight? Do you have to cut? Is it crazy? Like I know the night before, people try to drop the water and everything.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. How crazy is it for like? Is it?
Once this documentary come out, they followed the whole process. You get a better idea of what we go through to cut weight. It's not fun. I mean, in the moment, everyone looks like they're dying. You're dehydrated completely. But yeah,
No, not MMA fight. In a boxing match, who would win in a boxing match between Conor McGregor and Sean O'Malley?
It's funny. He says, "Hello, Rob. Want to ask porn questions now?" You just find out everything about Rob.
So curious to know what ChatGPT thinks. Predicting a winner between this and this in boxing match is very difficult, as both fighters possess unique strengths. Oh, you got diplomatic and political on us.
Oh, come
okay, let's
on.
see strengths and weaknesses. Go up there. Let's see what ChatGPT says. For Conor, more experience in boxing, have completed professional before.
So have I.
Okay, possesses heavier knockout power, especially in the left hand. Okay, weight a little bit higher. Proven track record of success against top-tier competition. Weakness, recent inactivity and injuries. Well, then he's not really answering the question the way we want to. Chin. Okay, has shown vulnerabilities in his chin against counter punchers in the past. Strength, younger and potentially hungrier with a longer fighting ahead. Excellent footwork and movement, making him difficult to hit cleanly. Possesses good technical skills. Wow, ChatGPT's a fan of yours.
apparently.
Let's go.
Weakness, less experience. Okay. Has never faced an opponent of Conor's caliber. May be susceptible to McGregor's pressure and heavy punches. Ultimately, the outcome of the fight would likely depend on several factors. McGregor's current form and fitness level, O'Malley's ability to handle Conor's power and pressure, the fight strategy and game plan. Well, listen,
That's crazy.
that's pretty good analysis right there.
I'm technically 1-0 pro boxing. I think he's technically 0-1, but he did fight Floyd. So, I mean, I'll give him that.
So ChatGPT doesn't know what it's talking about then, because it needs to. Yeah, listen, Sam, you got to check out this 1-0 record versus 0-1. Please fix your
Update ChatGPT.
the system on the next sprint. No, but look, for Are you a fan of any other sports outside of NFL?
I'm a fan of athletes, high level performers more so. I feel like than I don't mind. I can't really sit down and watch a basketball game, but watching someone perform like Steph just go crazy or LeBron go crazy, like that's fun. I like watching highlights on YouTube or stuff like that. But NFL, I can sit down and watch full games more so.
Who do you like? Are there guys that you're, where you do you have a relationship with Mahomes, Brady, a Joe Burrow? Are there any guys where like I really like the way that guy plays?
Yeah, I really like. I mean, Joey B's coming to the fight as well.
Sick.
Fan of his. It's hard not to be a fan of Patrick Mahomes. Watching him get it done, crunch time. Again, watching high level performances like that. Him and Kelsey do their thing is beautiful to watch. Not a ton, but a few.
You said something. You said at the beginning. I said, wanted to be an NFL player. You said still do.
Still have fantasies.
Still have fantasies.
Yeah.
What position did you play?
I quit growing, unfortunately. Wide receiver, DB. I think defensive backs are some of the most athletic, athletes in the world. Guarding those guys is insane. But I think I would be a little wide receiver. Might be a little too short.
What was your 40? How fast did you run your 40? Do you remember?
I've actually never. I don't think I've ever done that.
Did you guys hear about what this guy ran this weekend?
What?
Did you see this or no? No. Put fastest 40 ran in the compound.
4.2.
Oh, a guy ran a 4.2 40. Like I'm talking.
So you
beyond.
see this guy in the combine? He's broke the record for the fastest 40 dash.
Did he break the record? I thought he did.
He broke the record. Look at.
Is this it,
bro? Look, this doesn't even make sense.
John Ross.
Josh,
no, I don't think this is it.
I think it's another guy.
No, Rob,
I was gonna say that's not a John Ross.
No. This just happened, Rob.
Randy
if you go on Google, don't go on Twitter. Go on
Xavier
Google.
Worthy.
Go on Google. This
was it
guy,
Worthy? I think it was Worthy. Yeah, it was Worthy. Pat, it's this guy.
He ran a 4.21.
4.21.
By the way, never has there been a documented 4.21. Not Dion, not Bo.
Damn.
They're always talking about how Bo ran a 4.19. That's the rumor. But I think they said Bo ran a 4.19, but this guy just absolutely crushed it with his speed.
Do you have
Is it just a dude clicking it like this?
This is it. Watch this. This is the 4.21. Go back.
Look at this guy.
Chito. 4.21. Record. Look at this.
If you see it from the side, it looks fake.
Damn.
Just move it.
Yeah, that's insane to be running.
I remember when Devin Hester on the Madden game was the first time someone was 100. Yeah, he was 100 speed. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, Devin Hester was what is he the one that has the record for a punt return, kickoff return for a touchdown?
In one game.
In one game. I think he
like 3 or something.
He's
yeah,
so
something like
sick.
that. He was
remember Dante Hall too from was it
KC.
KC,
Chiefs.
bro.
KC, he used to be pretty wild as well.
X Factor.
On what he was doing. But okay, let's transition to a couple of the topics here. So when it comes down to you've talked about how at this fight Joe Burrow is going to be there this Saturday, right? And I think you told a story about the time you posted a picture of you and Trump at a UFC fight, and is it true that your father said take it down because some people may not like it?
It was the caption I think he was referring to.
What did you say?
Well, he walked in with Kid Rock. Donald Trump did.
Yeah.
I think I said we're gonna fuck some hoes after we rock this place. And my dad's like, I don't think the people on the left are gonna. I'm like, I don't give a fuck on the left. I don't know enough about it to fuck care if one of the people get mad. So to me, it was just like, this is a legendary pick, legendary caption. Kid Rock was there. It was like, yeah, I'm posting that.
Now, has Dana at all announced the possibility of Joe Biden coming to the fight this Saturday, or no? That would be pretty
I think
epic.
it's a little late. I think we're fighting at like 12:30. I don't know if. I don't know. Like again, I don't know much about politics.
Bro,
but
he's in bed by 6 p.m. He's out.
By the way, I'm actually curious. It's real. We're talking about simulation. You fighting against Conor, right? 145, 135. I want you to actually think about it.
Okay.
Because you've been at a fight. You see what happens. You're in it when you see him walking out. What happens to the fans, and the whole place pretty much shuts down.
Yeah.
I think one time Masvidal was fighting. He walks in. They stopped in the middle of the fight because he was walking in. Because I think he walked in the middle of the fight or the beginning of the fight. The walk took like so long until we were at that fight. I think,
there,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts.
So what would happen? Serious question. what would happen if Joe Biden walked in? What would happen with the fans, the arena, the state? What would happen if that were to happen?
That's a good question.
I think it would be the biggest booing. Or if the Jumbotron went to Biden and he walked into doesn't matter, Miami, New York, he would get the biggest boos and it would ruin the fight because people they'd be bashing him the whole time. You know that. What do you think would happen?
UFC does seem Trump heavy,
bro, and it's crazy because Sean, it doesn't matter where they are. I mean, Dana's not hiding this relationship with Donald Trump, bro. Maybe
he's attended. Can you Google? Has Joe Biden ever attended a UFC fight?
No,
I'm searching it right now to see it. Maybe he has. We don't know about it.
I think he did go to one football college game, and they did the fuck Joe Biden. Oh yeah, dude. Listen, he's not loved,
fan,
bro.
Trump sits fan.
He's not loved.
Yeah, that's an interesting job.
What to be
president?
Tell me, why do you think it's interesting?
It just doesn't seem like I just can't imagine wanting to be the president and just have all that fucking stress and I don't know. Fuck that.
Constant fight. So you think fighting is less stress than?
Oh yeah, I get to chill at home, watch some Netflix, fucking smoke some weed, relax,
and
not
chill.
make important decisions, and it's way more enjoyable.
Well, I mean, listen, if president, you can not only smoke weed, your son can bring cocaine.
Yeah,
you can do a lot of other wilder things.
Yeah.
You could do blow. You could do deals with China.
That's actually a good point.
It'd be interesting. I would simply want to know because 2 Super Bowls he didn't want to do the Super Bowl 3-minute interview. I don't know why.
This year
he turned it down to want to do it. Instead, they made a commercial about shrinkflation. I don't know if you're familiar with shrinkflation.
No,
so shrinkflation is, this Topo Chico is how many ounces? It's 16.9 ounces,
Ooh.
and they sell it for $2, let's just say. Now, they're still selling it for $2, but it's 13 ounces. So they fool you, and it's called shrinkflation is what he talks about.
You know where I was going? Where I thought you were going?
What?
When you said Biden, Trump. If they had to get into a fight, if they went UFC in the middle of who do you think wins that fight?
Well, Trump.
You think so?
But yeah, I don't think Biden's with the difficulties walking to the octagon there.
That would can you imagine that? They announce him and just Joe Biden, the light hits him, he has no idea where the hell he's going.
God.
And Trump just in the ring where is
that's terrible for America.
Who wins though?
That would not
who
be
wins
good.
the fight? If you had to put your money, who wins that
I think
fight?
he's right. It's purely energy. He can't walk. He walks super slow. You know what he would run his 40-yard dash right now?
What?
I mean, take an afternoon. It would
Like a
take
minute and a half.
a while, but
Chat GPT it.
yeah.
How long?
Who would?
I don't know. How long for a 40-yard dash?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
How long would he run a 40?
It's actually sad too, though. It's like he's like an old guy, and he's like just in this position. Who knows if he's really wants to be? I don't know.
But Sean, because you said because you don't get into it, you're not left, right, whatever. You said it's a hard job, but have you felt how different it is from because when Trump was in to where now it's just the people in power, it's just all babying him, coddling him, letting him, and you saw the other guy was really pro-America, and they went after him and they're trying to destroy him.
Yeah, I really know very little, but whoever's going to save me a little cheddar on my taxes, let's get that guy there.
Yeah, bingo.
Well, by the way, that in itself is knowing a lot about politics.
Period.
Just so you know.
Period. Whoever's going to save me some dough.
That is politics. At the end of the day, politics is, who's going to improve the economy, who's going to be simplified. Taxes, economy, job, paying my bills, having a good life. 2, secure, no war, no fights. I can go to sleep. I'm doing my... And then 3, allow me to have my own opinion, my freedom. I mean, politics is actually so super simple if you just go to the basics. What's important to you? Those 3 things are really it if you think about it. We don't need to add all this other, everything else just complicates things rather than simplifying things. So, Sean, when did you... do you feel like you've already started making real money? Are you already making real money?
I feel like if I decided to, quit fighting, I could live the rest of my life comfortably. I kept buying houses on the come up, so I have 6 houses. I'm doing the real estate thing. I got some investment stuff, and I got the retirement fund. So I'm doing everything right. I got good people around me to really help me with my money, and I think I could consider myself to be able to live comfortably the rest of my life at this point. Yeah,
That's and That's coming from where your upbringing, because
Yeah.
how different is it night and day with your upbringing?
We definitely weren't. I would say we were middle class or whatever. My mom was. They had 4 kids, and she was very, I don't know if stingy is the right word, but very careful with the money. A lot of arguments, mom and dad talking about money, spending gas money. We didn't go out to eat, and if we did, dollar menu, and that was rare. But I was raised like that, to where money was always an issue. It was always, a fight over the money constantly. So I feel like once I started making money, I was very smart with it and made sure like that'll never have to be that case. But, I'd like to continue. I enjoy making money. I enjoy the process of, helping, signing with brands, building brands. I'd love to, start making my own brands more so, getting equity in companies, stuff like that. But it's a nice safety net to know, like, okay, if I really just was over this, that I could, I have a farm I could live out there
In Montana?
in Arizona right now.
Okay, got it.
I could be done with all this and just, coach and help Tim. My coach has a gym. Help be there for community and still enjoy life. But I love making money. I love the deals. I love it. I flew here on a jet. Not very few people are flying on a jets in the UFC. Conor might be. I might be the only other one. And people are like, oh, that's crazy. UFC doesn't get me a jet. I'm not. I fly private. Not everywhere I go, but when I'm fighting, I fly private. And to be able to do that and it not even affect me is nice. But I'd like to continue to make a lot more money.
What's a lot of money?
I want to make, I want to have $100 million at some point with, before I'm 40-ish and continue to do stuff like that. But the fight game is so tricky. That's why I really try to enjoy these fight weeks. I got a lot of interviews. I got a lot of stuff to do, and I have a lot of weight to cut at the same time. So I'm not really eating a lot of calories right now. I'm pretty sure I switched to saltless chicken for dinner tomorrow. So if you guys want it to come over. So I'm trying to still enjoy all this because I don't know when the last fight, you never know when the last one's going to be. So if I continue to go out there and do what I truly believe I'm going to do, and that's knock people out and do big fights, I'm gonna make a lot of money.
Sean, closer to mom or dad?
That's a good question. I'd say mom at this point. My mom works for me. She lives in Arizona, 10 minutes from me. My dad still lives in Montana. So my mom's lived there for the last few years. I'd say we're probably closer.
How do they view you fighting today?
They love it now. My dad is he'll walk past someone and say, hey, you want a picture? And they'll be like, I don't know who the fuck that is. Like, he's that guy. He loves it. He'll wear Suga shirts, Suga merch all day. He loves it. My mom, she I don't know. She doesn't really watch it. She was always the one about money. She helps me get all my taxes stuff lined up for the accountant. So she loves that. She's like, holy shit, like these numbers are massive. This is so fun. She loves being a part of that.
That's cool.
So she really enjoys that. And I don't trust anyone as much as I trust my mom when it comes to, tax for everything. Everything I spend money on, she's aware of it. She never really like, don't buy this, don't buy that. Sometimes when I come home with a new Corvette, she's like, why you do that? But for the most part, yeah, she never really complains when I'm spending money. But yeah.
How about siblings? You said you got 4, right?
Yep.
So you were one
I'm
of
the
4.
fourth. Yep.
Yeah. You're the 4th.
No, I'm one of 4. Sorry,
Okay.
rather. Michael, my older brother, he's 33 right now. Michael, we're all 4 years apart. I thought I completely cut off the ability to love him and think that he's my brother because he was so far on drugs, meth, bad. My dad was a detective and a cop back home in Helena when we grew up, and he went on the off the deep end, bad. So there was years I didn't talk to him, and if I did talk to him, he was, I'm in the Illuminati. He was off the deep end.
Meaning
bad.
you're in the Illuminati.
Yeah, saying I'm in the Illuminati. People are following him. There's this, that, and blah blah blah. But he just wasn't doing good for a long time, and he was still in Helena, and I was in Arizona for 6-7 years at the time. So never talked to him. Thought my dad was going to call me, and if he did call me, it was like Michael's in jail again. Michael got pulled over. Michael got a DUI. So I completely cut off emotional attachment to him. I thought for sure my dad was calling me Michael's dead. Killed himself, got killed. And so completely cut off ties. And now he lives in Arizona, sober.
By you?
Yeah. He lives in Arizona, lives with my mom right now, with his son. doing good, working full time,
Good for him.
sober, healthy, couple years sober. And it's so weird to even still think, I'm like, damn, that's my brother, because for so long there, I was like, I basically it didn't count him as a brother. He was nothing, because I would send him books, I would try to talk to him, but it was pointless at the time. It was like there's just nothing to do. But giving him opportunity to come to Arizona, and we helped him, and but to fight that addiction, it's impressive and inspiring to watch, and it's doable. Not a lot of people can do it, so it's even more impressive that he's done it and he's living it right now. But so yeah, Michael, my older brother, cool dude. Little brother Daniel, 4 years younger than me, book smart as fuck, like completely opposite of me. Michael was smart too in math, and like in school wise, he was smart, but just didn't apply himself in those areas. My little brother went to college. He's going to school now for chiropractic and other stuff like that. But super book smart, loves reading, loves studying, loves tests, good at all that stuff. And he's an athlete too. He doesn't play anything anymore, but he was good in high school football, basketball. He was kind of the star at the high schools, kind of what I wanted to be, but never was. He was that guy.
Interesting.
And then my sister, it's been pretty cool because she's 21. No, just turned 22, I believe. She got a real estate license shortly after she moved to Arizona. I mean, she doesn't know what she wants to do. She kind of bouncing around. She's obsessed with dogs, loves dog training, wants to get a dog shelter, wants to take care of all the animals. Just a really, really good person, big heart. But she got a real estate license, and I started buying houses. So it's kind of worked out. Like, I'm buying houses, she's making money. So that worked out really well for her. So I'm her number one client. Yeah.
What book did you send your brother when he was going through it?
I think I sent him. It wasn't a book I read, but it was like a Russell Brand book.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it was like
Got it.
The 9 Steps or something like that. I think I heard Russell Brand on Rogan, and I was like, oh, this might be good for him. I said it to him, never got touched, but yeah.
It's interesting that now one person in the family, would you say most of them moved to Arizona because you're the main person?
I moved everyone down.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Except Pops is still in
Pops,
Montana.
I'm still working on him. Working on him.
He just loves Montana.
Well, if he wants to take more pictures, he's got to come to Arizona. He's got to
not that
come
far
down.
of a trip.
Yeah, it's there's personal stuff there that I won't get into. It's their lives to talk about. But yeah, I'm trying to get him down there. I would love to. I mean, I got a little princess. Michael's got a son. I would love to have more kids. It's like, we don't live forever. Where do you want to be?
That's right, Brent.
I'm trying to get him down here.
Yeah.
And,
I got everybody here right now except for one person, and my dad is now here, my sister's here, my nephew, my niece, my kids, they all go to the same place. It's a very, I'm sure you're loving it while you're going through it right now, and it's just going to get better for you because you're just going to make more money. You're just getting started making money. The money thing is going to get bigger and bigger for you. By the way, why do you wear such a small necklace? What's the story behind that?
It's kind of embarrassing because you are making a lot of money, Sean. I think you'd want.
Yeah, what's...
This was a gift. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Steve will do
Of course.
it.
Yeah, Steve gave that to you?
Yeah,
That's
Steve
sick,
gave me
bro.
this.
He's a G.
Yeah, so that's I'm rocking that. But yeah, I do the jewelry thing a little bit, not too crazy. I feel like when I was making less money, I was buying more jewelry, and now I'm making more money. I'm just kind of not buying jewelry as much. Like you get so many pieces you like, and you kind of stick with that. But going back to the making money, my goal is to have a compound. I want to have the people that I want to raise my kids around, and I want Tim and Mariah, my coach. I want to be. I have 5 acres right now. 4 acres right now, and there's 5 acres behind my house I want to buy. So a nice 9-acre property would be incredible. Have Danny's mom, my girl's mom, my baby mama's mom live there, grow a crazy garden. I have chickens right now. So I want to build a compound and live with my people and train jiu-jitsu. And that's the goal.
We had Gina Carano here last week, and she also has chickens.
But
she lives in Montana.
Really?
So she moved to Montana, and you left Montana. Gina Carano, the actress. I don't know if you know who she is.
The Mandalorian. She was in UFC, right?
She was a fighter before.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she said she got chickens and she's happy, and I was like, dude, that's
chickens. There's something about it. It's so weird. You go out there and you open up the little nesting box and you see, 10 different colored eggs, and it's so
natural.
weird. It's like, because probably back in the day, you grab an egg, that's food. That's of
course.
So when you grab it, it does something to you, and it's fun. Like taking Elena out there to go grab eggs is incredible.
Going back to boxing with UFC that we're talking about. Do you follow boxing as well, or are you fully focused mainly on UFC?
Boxing just doesn't really do it for me. Jake Paul, I watched that. I watched when Logan had a couple fights. I watched that. I was very interested, very entertained by that. But for the most part, it's hard. I don't know. I just am not super interested in boxing. I don't know if it's just because there's so many different organizations. You don't know who's what weight class. The weight classes are weird. There was this. So I don't really follow boxing that close, and I don't really follow UFC that close. I'd say I'm more of a casual fan as far as like, I didn't watch one fight on the card last weekend. There wasn't really anything that excited me. I know Umar was on that fight, but it's just like, I was getting my hair done. I kind of forgot about it. It's just like, so I watched the big fights.
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
So you really not a fan of the watching what others are doing?
Not hugely, no. Play a lot. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty recently. Fucking love Resurgence, ranked. I'm on it.
Oh, you're ranking it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting carried heavily. I like to play with, even that's fun to watch the highest level
How
gamers.
sick are those guys? The slide cancel.
Them talking, calling stuff out, and you got to be somewhat smart to be able to. It's like a strategy game to be able to know what to do, and also your hand-eye coordination, and it's fun to watch those guys play at a high level too.
Are you streaming?
I stream on Twitch.
Are you Twitching? Okay,
yeah.
I play with comedian Eric Griffin.
I feel like that sounds familiar.
He was Montez from Workaholics. Me and this guy, dude, and we're older, so it's not as easy. And we're playing with young guys. Yeah. So these dudes are sniping, moving, and I'm like, everybody's cheating. Yeah. Everybody's cheating.
Yeah, that's what everyone that sucks says.
That's what. Sean, why are you gonna put me out there? He's gonna see this.
My buddies that suck, they'll get killed. He's fucking hacking.
Yeah, he's
I'm
a
like,
hacker.
bro, you just suck.
Yeah, but you nailed it, bro. Pat, you don't understand the tactics, the movement, the setting up like bouncing betties or the movement, your squad. People talk crap
strategy,
about it.
Yeah.
It's strategy and your hand-eye coordination, bro. It's not
I believe
easy.
it. Listen, I was a kid that was obsessed with RPG games growing up.
Really?
That's all it was for me. Final Fantasy. Everything was like, can you finish this? Or the Zelda back in the day, Zelda, or Fester's Quest, or there was plenty of like old school, RPG games. But I totally see the strategy part of it. Challenges. Yeah. You can be really, really. The other day, Tico showed me this Roblox thing, the biggest Roblox build.
He showed it to me too.
He showed it to you?
They
Put
built
the biggest Roblox.
I don't even know what Roblox is. I've heard about it.
It's like you could build an entire city. Which one did he show you, Pat?
Oh, he showed me one that was like 21 million pieces.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I'm like, how long is it going to take you to build this? But Dad, think about it. What if I build it and we have the biggest piece? And I'm like, buddy, but tell me, do you collect rent from everybody that's in that building?
Can AI just build it faster now?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But okay, so on the boxing side, you're not really following anybody. No. Even if I told you names, you wouldn't know. Like, do you know Ryan's fighting Devin? Do you know the names of them fighting each other? Do you know?
I know
you
Ryan,
watch Haney play?
I know Ryan and Haney are fighting. I've never watched. I've talked shit to Devin Haney. I've talked shit to a lot of different boxers. Gervonta Davis. So I could name like Gervonta, Haney, Garcia, Lomachenko, and the Lopez, Tiafoma or whatever. I could name those 5.
So, okay, who do you have, Haney or Garcia? Are you able to say who you think's going to pick it up?
No, I've never watched Haney, and I probably should watch Haney box before I talk shit and say I can knock him out so I can get a better idea. But I've never watched him fight. I've watched Ryan fight Gervonta. He got hit with a nice body shot. I think I've watched Gervonta fight a few different times. But I'm talking less than probably 5 fights I've watched.
5 fights?
Well, no, because Conor Floyd was super into that one.
Yeah.
I did watch Tyson Fury versus Francis. So I guess I've watched a few here and there, but they're the big ones I'm watching. There's been times where Haney fights, and then like we do a podcast on Sunday, and we'll have our producer kind of write a little list of notes and be like, "Hey, talk about Haney's fight." I'm like, I had zero idea he fought. And I'm not, it sounds like I'm stabbing, throwing shade, but I don't know if boxing does a good job promoting it. I just don't know if, I don't know.
I think it's just a different community. You know, if you're interested, you're going to find it. If you're not, you're not.
I bet all these guys know I'm fighting Saturday night.
Oh, they know.
They know.
So going back to what you were saying about fighting and knowing who to fight next, is any of your strategy to take kind of like Mayweather took? Because in boxing, the difference between boxing and UFC, in UFC, you're pretty much choosing your fights, right? Like Dana's not calling your guy or your manager. Dana's calling you, right?
Everyone's different. I don't have a manager. I deal with all my own stuff. I sit down with the UFC. I negotiate my own deals with Emron, who's doesn't consider himself as a manager. He does a lot for me, but he's more of a mentor, advisor. But I do all my own deals with UFC.
You're saying the gentleman I met, the Pakistani
yep,
friend
yep.
From LA?
Yep.
Yeah.
Super lucky to have met him, and he owns Sanibel. That's how we met. Was he offered to sponsor me back in 2017, early on, and so we've had a really.
So this is a true believer. He fully believes in the product of.
Believed in it before a lot of people saw it, and
hard to find guys like that.
Very, very, very hard. Rare. But I do all my. I sit down with UFC, but as far as picking your opponents, no, not really. I mean, after certain fights, you can make good call outs. If you sit on the mic and you say what and you say something and people get behind it, like you can pick your fights in that sense. But as far as like, hey Dana, I want to fight this guy. Like if it makes sense for the division. After I fought Pedro Munoz, went to a no contest, which I count that as a win. I called out Peter Yan, who was ranked number 1. I was ranked number 11. That doesn't usually happen, but literally 2 through 10 these guys were all fighting each other. So 11 and 1 made sense ish because I was me, because I was had a pretty good name. Peter Yan accepted the fight, which he didn't have to do because he thought he was going to run through me, and so yeah. But in a sense, you can pick your fights, get a good call out, put on a good performance.
So are you glad Peter took that fight when you 11 and 1? You called him out, and he said, "Let's fight."
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there was no one. The entire division was booked up. It was pretty much, I could fight for the title if I go out there and put on.
So I got a question for you. So if Umar does something that you did, would you take his fight?
Well, I'm the champ right now, so if they offer, no, not right now. It's not a big enough fight. It's a dangerous fight. He's very skilled, but he has to. It's not a big fight. Me versus Merab's a bigger fight. Me versus Corey's a bigger fight. Me versus Ilya is a bigger fight. There's too many.
You think so? You think those are bigger fights
than Umar right now? Yes. He's only like 2-0 in the UFC or something. He's only fought a couple times.
Yeah.
The name Nurmagomedov, that's huge for him, so he doesn't have to do that much more work.
I feel like
there.
Dana could promote the hell out of this. I feel like if there it is, UFC ESPN
1, 2,
2021
3, 4.
Yeah. So I feel like that would be a fight that would be promoted.
It will be. It will be a big fight, but it's got to be. He's got to go out there, and he will. He'll go out there and put good guys out. He'll go beat good guys. That's going to build it.
How old is he? Are you guys about the same age, or is he
good
older?
Question.
I saw 31, or is it 28? Okay, so 1 year apart.
So young, a little bit younger, yeah.
Yeah. You're 94, he's 96.
Damn.
And you're October, so yeah, about a year and a half, 2 years apart.
Both from Russia.
Yeah. Is there part of your fighting, by the way, with camps? Like, is there a camp where you say that's the most respected camp to go up against? Or is it more individual rather than camp?
I think it's the Russians right now. The Dagestanians are kind of looked at as like the killers of those are the guys. But as far as camps go, I'm not super familiar with like, oh, this guy trains here, this guy trains here, this guy. Like, I don't really pay attention to that.
You don't pay attention to that. Got it. Yeah.
These are the bear fighters, right? These are people that are wrestling bears at 9 years old.
Yeah.
Like, who does that?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no. When I talk to Khabib and I'm asking him, like, we had him at you met him.
At the event, yeah.
I watched that.
Yeah, and I'm
Incredible.
asking him on like the mindset. Do you, okay, so for example, let me ask this other question from you, just curious. You seem like a fun guy. Okay, you seem like a guy that probably is fun to party with, right? You seem like a guy that, maybe not today, maybe a few years ago, but you seem like the kind of guy that if we went and partied, we're probably gonna have a good time. Okay.
Yeah.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
11.
Morning. That's right.
Club. Russ is performing.
So do you think that one of the biggest edges these guys have is that there is no alcohol, pure training, 7 days a week, no partying, no clubbing, and the standards they have, the expectations they have, the pride in winning for their country? Do you think that is their biggest edge they have over their competitors, where to them, they don't take their competitors seriously because they're like, you're just not willing to sacrifice at the levels that we are? You think that's what their edge is?
I think it could be, argued, debatable, but I do think life's about balance. And I know for me, I go 100% discipline in camp, and then out of camp, I go a little bit, go to the club a little bit here and there, never get too crazy, but there's a level of balance that I feel like is very important, and I feel like could even be argued as more of an advantage balancing it.
You think so?
Because you get into camp and camps, I'm ready to be out of camp after camp. I'm ready to kind of chill out. But if I have to just get right back to the same shit after I fucking just go out there and knock this dude out, I want to enjoy a little bit. I want to go off, It's a pendulum, right? It's like so disciplined, then you have a little freedom, and then he comes back, and it's like kind of this balancing act where these guys are just constantly. I mean,
crazy question for
3-0.
Crazy question for you. Crazy question for you. Okay, we have a software that comes out. Okay, we're in this software. Okay, we can enter in Sugar Sean O'Malley. Okay, and on the right side of the software, we can minimize the percentage and hours of partying and maybe being the casual side, and then increase the level of preparation and discipline, kind of like how these guys are doing it. What if we ran this simulation and we're sitting there and we have this technology underground in a vault, right? That we go into. Literally, we're in a vault right now. But I press a button, this thing opens up, we get in the elevator, we go 40 stories down, our guy enters it in, we say, hey, can you run a number here? If Sean went on a 5-year run, 100% obsessed discipline, the only other distraction is his kid, his family, and that's it. 0 party, alcohol, nothing. Run it, and let's see what this looks like. And then it goes to 2030. Let's just say, let's go on a 6-year run, 2030. And it shows at 2030, Sean O'Malley.
Burnt out.
No, but I'm asking you, it shows that at that age, 2030, you choose to retire, 35 years old. But you retire fully undefeated. You made $100 million by 35 years old. You didn't do it by 40. You actually did it by 30. And not only did you make $100 million, you made 150 by 35 years old. But you missed out on a lot of partying. You missed out on a lot of other things. You missed out on a lot of that stuff. And you end up becoming as somebody that people say, dude, this guy, for this class and that class, for sure, he's on a Mount Rushmore of that. But pound for pound, this guy's a top 5, top 10 of all time. Let's just say these are the types of discussions because, top 10 is a very big deal.
Yeah.
People follow the sport. It's a very hard list to get onto into the top 10. I'm not even saying top 5. I think 10 is a hard list. Then the other side, we score it even 20%. We bring it down and we increase 20% the party inside. And we look at that and it says, yeah, it's a top 30 and had a few losses and it just, he ended up his career. He was a good fighter. He's going to be, with that, if that technology exists, obviously it doesn't. If it did exist, would that at all influence you to say, yeah, you know what? I'm done with partying for 6 years because I want to have this legacy. Or you'd say, I don't give a shit. I'm still going to go the same way.
No, I wouldn't party. I don't. I think I'm going to get on that one list the way I'm doing life right now. I don't party that much. It's not like that crazy. It's after fights. It's like after a fight, you're not going to get right back into camp anyway, for the most part. Ideally, I go out there, KO Chito, and I'm fighting in September. So give me a month off, month and a half off. And when I say off, it's like, depends what kind of injuries. If I can train, I'm going to go in and train. It's not like I'm just sitting at the club, and then I wake up and I'm like, where the fuck am I? And then I go back to the club again.
No. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because to the average person, when you're explaining the Khabib mindset and the way they train, or the Kobe mindset. Like AI just did a nice tribute. I don't know if you saw the tribute that came out. It's going viral. It's everywhere. He made a sick tribute about Kobe. And Kobe would tell the story of, after the game, I was like, hey, go to the club. So Kobe drives me to the club. We have dinner, then drops him off at the club and says, hey, so Kobe, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going back to the gym. For what? I'm going to go. I missed a few of my shots here in the corner. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So AI probably partied much better, probably smashed way more, probably has better stories, probably has a lot of things. But top 5, Mount Rushmore, Kobe's going to be part of that discussion. And this doesn't mean a burnout because, it's the idea of, like when Kobe, I don't know if one of the articles Kobe talked about, things going to change with LeBron when he has kids. And it did, right? Where it's kind of like life changes. You talked about this as well when, when you started having a kid, you're like, what am I doing? Why am I going through this? What am I doing with this? But like you're naturally making some evolution to your own game. I'm just talking about would a Sean O'Malley, probably, I don't know, people could easily say the most exciting fighter today to watch. Okay, and that's not like overselling it, right? You're super exciting. Not only in the weight class, we can put, Kamzat, we can put all these other names that, okay, these are also exciting guys to watch. Would you be willing to go to the Dagestan, like the Khabib level of discipline for the next 6 years to lock in a spot as a top 10, would that be worth it to you? That level of discipline?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And when it comes, I mean, we don't know Habib's, we can assume you never know what people do behind closed doors. Not accusing any of those Dagestanians, but I've heard, it's like people have been there. It's not like, they're human. They're not fucking sitting at home when they're not doing anything, just meditating.
No, for sure.
They're human. I would argue my level of discipline in camp is just as
You
much.
think at their level? You think in your mind is at their level?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I challenge you on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, you don't have to receive it. I'm just we're talking openly anyway. So, early on in my career, when I was coming up in an industry that nobody watches, it's called insurance. There is no highlights.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody says, look at the way he signed that contract.
so
wow. Tonight, Vincent Oshana signed 17 policies at this event. No one gives a shit. But there's an element of competitiveness because it pays very well. You can make a few $100 million. You can make tens of millions of dollars. It's a very lucrative industry. And there were moments where I would ask myself while I'm going through it, what is the difference between the edge of having confidence, cocky, and blind spots for me to miss out or not miss out? So, for example, you'd run appointments, you'd come home at 11 o'clock, you're like, I know for a fact I outwork my competitor. And you were wrong. Like, oh, shit. Versus like a Ali versus Frazier back in the days, it's like, hey, man, I'm training at 4:30. Why? Because I know that guy's up. So the mentality of saying, I think that guy's up earlier than me. I think that guy's prepared more than me. I think versus, no, I got him. I know for a fact. That balance, it's not just UFC. It's anything in life. It's business. It's boxing. It's sports. It's Hollywood. It's all of that stuff, right? Where Rock has an element of that. Rock, when he first went and met with his agents, had lunch with his agent the other day, spent a couple hours, 2.5 hours together, and great conversation. And when Rock first met with them, they said, who do you want to be? Have you heard this story, what he said to them? He says, I want to be Will Smith, but bigger. Okay? And they said, really? He says, yeah, I want to be Will Smith, but bigger. And guess what? He became bigger. Yeah. He's the 5th most followed person on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know how many followers he's got. 400 million followers. I don't know what he's done. I mean, it's crazy shit when you think about it, right?
Insane.
How many followers does Rock have on Instagram? Can you Google this?
Insane.
I don't know what the number is, but what is the number? Yeah, 397 million followers. What is that worth? He's already a billionaire. He's not. They haven't announced being a billionaire, but he's already a billionaire in the making. No one's questioning that, right? So, I wonder what that's worth. Is he at a level of focus that's different than his peers slightly more? Is he in the back of his mind saying, hey, I bet Arnold was doing more at this phase? Because, Arnold would be one of the guys that he wanted to pass up. I bet Will Smith's doing this. I bet that guy's doing this. I bet this guy's doing this. That's the part where how do you balance thinking, I'm already on track, I know I'm doing, versus maybe I'm not. Maybe they're more prepared than I am. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's also so different in a sport like fighting. It's like, someone could be a little bit more disciplined than the next, and then their opponent, and still get knocked the fuck out. So it's like, I don't think it's not the who's more disciplined wins in life. It's, right time, right moment, right preparation.
But it adds an element to it, right? It gives you an edge. So
I feel an advantage going into fights that I'm living healthier, that I'm living a better quality life than my opponents. I do feel that. And I felt like that for a long time. As far as I got a nutritionist, Dan Garner, who's been analyzing my blood, stool, saliva, hair, piss, all my stuff multiple times a year, making sure I'm eating the right diets so I'm not causing inflammation. I'm not eating stuff that's causing inflammation so I can train more. I feel like that's a huge advantage. Cold plunge at my house, sauna at my house, hot tub, red light, PEMF machine, shockwave machine. I have all this stuff at my house that I use daily.
Sick.
And I've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
I've been on the cold plunge wave for 6-7 years before everyone had a cold plunge. So I feel like I've been doing a lot of this stuff for a long time that a lot of people are kind of starting to do now, to where I truly do believe it gives me an advantage. And the same thing with, discipline and all that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the part about competition and capitalism, right? Because at the end of the day, it comes like I got 4 kids, all right? I got 12, 10, 7, 2, okay?
Oh, wow.
I don't have to tell my 10-year-old that guy is just freaking maniacal, right? Like, we know how I said how somebody become a fighter. Hey, either father, bad relationship, either bullied or either gangster or either natural athlete or something like that, right? Those are typically the reasons why somebody ends up becoming one. We don't have a gang in our community, right? We live on an island. It's tough to have a gang in the community we live in. But you can tell this guy's got a chip that he wants to do it for a reason.
He wants to fight?
Well, he does jiu-jitsu. He's been doing it for 2.5 years. Right now, he's obsessed with soccer. And when I tell you obsessed, I mean absolutely obsessed with soccer. He scored another goal yesterday, by the way. We had a sick goal
Did you record
yesterday.
this one?
No, I didn't record this one. At this point, I'm missing too many of these. But I'm watching it.
But I respect
I'm watching it live.
At least you're in the moment.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is, you know how the market works? Man, sometimes it takes us 10, 20 years to realize what we were doing behind closed doors. There's one thing that never lies. The market will never lie. It will never, ever lie. We can claim, well, let me tell you what I'm doing behind closed doors, and let me tell you what I'm doing. The market is eventually going to be like, dude, he was right. Or the market's going to be like, no, he wasn't right. You know, like right now, I had Ryan on a couple weeks ago, and I'm watching what he's doing. I'm like, what is he? I don't even know what I'm concerned for him. I'm sincerely concerned for this guy on what some of the stuff he's posting.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I don't know if you're following any of this stuff that I don't think you are.
Did you see the recent
Some of this stuff just doesn't make
I think he's a young kid, 25.
Yeah.
Good-looking kid, made a lot of money. No, we're not taught how to be famous. I slowly, over the years, 21, 22, 23, made a little bit more money at a time, got a little bit more popular at a time. This dude's, making millions of dollars, 25 years old. Probably doesn't have good people around him. That's one thing I pride myself on, is that everybody in that room over there that's watching this next door is just good, quality fucking people that are, there's not one person over there that doesn't help me in a certain spot to where he, hanging out with maybe not the right crew. I don't know personally because I haven't seen it, but I'm assuming, I very well could see myself being that guy with the wrong people around me. And it's, we're not taught how to be famous.
I know you guys have some feud going back. Who would win this fight? He would not get. What feedback would you give him? Let's just say if he's watching this. What feedback he's not in your space. He's not in your industry. What feedback from experience would you give him? What you just said right now is very powerful because he probably relates to it. What feedback would you give him to make some adjustments, if any?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has kids. It's like my number one thing that I think is the coolest thing about me is how much time I get to spend with Elena. Like, I don't work 40 hours a week. I don't, when I go to the gym, she comes with me. Like, I get to be around Elena a lot, and that's where I feel the most peace and most, like, happiness. If you're not sleeping good, if you're staying out late, like, sleep's the number one thing, hands down, for anxiety, depression, anger, any of that thing. I believe sleep's the number one thing. Sleeping right, eating right. I'm sure he's probably eating right. I know he's got a big fight coming up, so maybe he's sleeping good, eating good. But yeah, I'd say just being around the right people is one of the biggest things to just have a good head on your shoulders.
Yeah, I just see too many weird chaos going on in his life. Like,
could be a phase.
But even that clip that you showed when he's on the UFC talking about he wants to fight him, he didn't look. He was like tweaking a little bit. Like, he looked a little weird right there.
You gotta find me and my coach Tim did a skit of him and Oscar De La Hoya in the behind the scenes at the MMA Hour. Did you see that? Could you pull that up by chance? Like, hey, there we go.
Wait, what?
This was Ryan and Oscar De La Hoya before they went on the show.
Okay.
Ryan, we need money. We're in debt from betting, brother.
Oscar, I need to fuck Sugar Sean up, honestly.
You could fight MMA. You could beat whoever you want. You could beat John Jones.
I seriously think I could wrestle.
Wrestle your security guard. Show them. Prove them. You're an athlete. You're a natural. You can do whatever, brother. Let's get it on. Hold on. Fuck, I'll fight Dana. Oscar. Yeah. Whoa.
Oh,
let's go on the radio show, brother.
That's hilarious.
Because Oscar's talking about fighting Dana.
Yeah.
I mean, they're clearly doing a little booger sugar, and everyone, it's all fun and game. But I think he could be going through a phase. I think he's trying to fit in. He's trying to sell a pay-per-view. I get it. There's sometimes I want to be crazy and say some shit that I might regret to, sell a pay-per-view. Like, I could be a character, say some shit and I think he's in that position right now to where he wants to be the most famous guy in the world. But it's like, you got to do that by knocking people out. Do that by,
let the work show instead of
which he has been doing good. He's been fighting. He obviously lost to Gervonta Davis. He's 5'4".
Did you see this? Did you see this? I think this was yesterday, Pat. Something came from Ryan Garcia's. It was on his Instagram. It was like something cryptic where he's like, and he's trying to run out of a room, and then apparently nobody's heard from this guy. Can we show up, Pat?
I don't know what this is.
It's just him and this Ryan Garcia,
Play it.
and it's somebody messaging, "We got him." R.I.P. Ryan Garcia.
Oh, fuck. No, hold on. I don't know nothing. Yeah, it is, bro. Fucking start getting
Yeah, this could be trolling his audience.
But it's you think he's trolling?
Was it
Ah,
live on IG?
It could be he's trolling his audience. That could be he's trolling this audience. I mean, look, what is this here?
And then this one said, "We got him, boys. Ryan Garcia, R.I.P. bitch." Dude, all this was like literally all over social media.
This is on his account?
That video was on his, and then somebody posted Ryan Garcia, R.I.P. 666.
Listen, there's a part of this where, he may be trolling and just acting, for whatever reason, like to bring attention to the fight, which, by the way, I will tell you, when him and Haney are facing each other, I like it. I mean, it's good. It's selling the fight. It's exciting. But there's a I don't know. I mean, look, when I watched Mayweather selling a fight, okay, the way Mayweather sold the fight.
Legend,
right? But guess what? Mayweather never... He sold the fight and Mayweather's in his ears. There's no way in the world Mayweather probably supports this behavior. Agreed. I don't think he does.
Agreed.
And if Mayweather's in your ear and you're doing this, by the way, partially, I would be like, hey, Mayweather, if you're in this guy's ears, what kind of influence do you have over this guy? So I bet listen, if I'm in someone's ear and they behave like this, I would publicly, if I've had multiple conversations and this continues, I would publicly say, hey guys, you know what Dana would typically do? Dana would publicly say, no, he's not listening to anybody. We can't get him to listen to anybody. And he's done that many, many times because Dana loses credibility.
Yeah.
So the more he acts this way, Mayweather's losing credibility. I don't know. I'm just not liking it. And I'm only saying this because I like this kid. I actually really like this kid. I don't like what I texted him earlier. I'm like, hey, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't want to see this behavior taking place. I think 420, there should be a good fight. It's in what, 6 weeks? 6 weeks? A little over 6 weeks?
That's crazy if he's acting like this.
Yeah.
6 weeks out? This doesn't make any sense to me to act like this 6 weeks out. And he can actually beat Haney. You know what their record is fighting each other? Mm-hmm. They fought 6 times. It's 3-3.
Oh, as amateurs?
Yeah.
Wow,
they fought each other 6 times. It's 3-3.
Good storyline right
That's
there.
a very good storyline. So this is, you can build this up and, get it in a way to go that the audience is going to want to see it. But I don't know. I just don't like what...
Sad.
Yeah. Hopefully...
Again, it could just be a phase. I mean, you go through phases. Everyone goes through phases. But hopefully you don't get too deep in that phase that you can't come out.
Yeah,
you see boxers do it all the time. I mean, famous people in general just go off the deep end, never really come back.
Well, De La Hoya went through it.
Yeah.
De La Hoya went through it. Yeah, exactly. He still is. By the way, De La Hoya against Dana. If this is not a question if they fight. This is not the question if they fight. This is, who do you think has a bigger gang?
It's a gank.
Not a gank. Gang.
Okay. Like, what the fuck's a gank? Like, you setting me up here, motherfucker.
What's a gank? Is like a Russian word for your dangling. Yeah, what I know who's got a bigger gang. Who's got a bigger gang? Meaning who would fight for who more?
Dana, hands down, easily.
Yeah.
I mean, Dana's a fucking legend. I love being in the UFC, being able to be on podcasts, be able to say a lot of shit, even if I shouldn't say it. I do say it, and I have said it, and I didn't get in trouble from Dana. And, NFL, NBA, you can't say certain things. You don't really see these guys coming on here talking about real shit. They're very... careful with what they tweet, what they say, and UFC gives us a platform to be able to be us, be free, and that's fucking sweet. So yeah, Dana's the man. Dana and Hunter completely changed my life. They even give me I wanted to be a professional athlete. Obviously, I wanted to be in the NFL, be in the NBA. It didn't work out. It's like, okay, well, they have weight classes. Little dudes, 135ers can fight and sell out arenas and be seen by millions of people. And so, given this platform, obviously Hunter, Dana, fucking, it's crazy that I get to do this. So yeah, those guys are the legends.
Yeah, Dana is I've said this, the greatest commissioner we've seen. I think to me he is the best commissioner. Love the other day the guy's asking this like 6 weeks ago. Hey, you have your guys on a leash. He says, leash. What kind of? Remember this whole thing about the leash conversation?
Did you see with this? Strickland. They were talking about. He was talking about Strickland
recently.
This is like 5-6 weeks ago.
Yeah, they were like, some report.
This is it right here.
Yeah, this is it.
You obviously give a long leash to your fighters about, what they can say when they are up there with a UFC microphone and you are getting into territory of homophobia, transphobia. Like, is there...
I don't give anybody a leash.
Well, I'm saying you.
A leash?
Like,
free speech. Control what people say. Going to tell people what to believe. Going to tell people. I don't fucking tell any other human being what to say, what to think, and there's no leashes on any of them. What is your question?
I was asking that question. I'll move on, though.
Dana,
probably a good idea.
Dana's a comedian, but honestly, even being around Dana off camera just gets you fired up. He's one of those people that you can just be around and you want to improve your businesses. You want to improve what you're doing. Just being around that dude. He's constantly passionate about whatever it is, and he just gets you fired up.
Like, that's the guy you want to work with. It's like, listen, just be you. Just obviously know that you're working for, you represent the brand. But as a man, go do what you want to do. I mean,
they've never told me what to say, what not to say, how to sell fight, who to call out, who to do this. They just, be you, and we'll be us, and we'll fucking, if we work, we work.
By the way, and I also don't see Dana not calling out his guys and saying, what are you doing? Like, I see him also behind closed doors making that phone call.
Oh, I think so. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Direct phone calls, yeah.
I definitely think he got it. Like a Sean Strickland might get, like Sean, I love you. I get it. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Slow it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
I definitely see him doing that. But, Sean, I want to ask you a question. This is totally random because I read this and I was like, wait a minute. I definitely have to ask Sean this question. So you went to Mexico to get for stem cell for your knee.
Oh, God,
dude, I told Pat, I was like, no way this didn't happen. So you went there, and then apparently somebody was talking about stem cell for like the penis, and they were like
penis,
and you're like the penis, the gank, and then apparently it helps with stamina and girth and everything. I have two questions. Number one, did it work? Number two, do you still have that doctor's phone number? Because I'm trying to come up.
Well, yeah. So Tim and I were in Tijuana getting stem cells. I was getting stem cells on my knee, and one of the guys there's like, "Yeah, I'm getting my dick," and we're like, "What the fuck? You can get stem cells on your dick?" He's like, "Yeah, it's supposed to help you last longer, be girthier." and I was like, and they all were like, "We'll do it for free." I'm like, fuck.
In Mexico.
In Mexico,
That's crazy.
CPI stem cells. But then I remember I heard, who was it? It was this Ben Greenfield. I remember hearing Ben Greenfield talk about us, and he's a pretty smart biohacker dude. Like he's very up to date with shit. And I remember he said he did it.
Yeah.
And because we were debating, Tim did it too. We were debating. I'm like, fuck, should we do it? And we ended up doing it. So yeah, just getting a needle in your fucking.
Dude, does it hurt? I'm obviously.
Yeah, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. It just a little, little needle and boom, and didn't hurt too bad. Didn't feel great.
Passed out or no?
No, you're awake. Oh
yeah,
snap!
Yeah, and I had a female doctor do it who was pretty attractive. So it was just a bad. It was like, what am I doing?
So you're probably just like, yo,
getting around. That's what I'm working with. And I just fucking.
Did it work? Does it work?
I think it's probably like anything where it's like you need more probably, but I didn't feel my dick was bruised for a little bit, but it was like a couple hours, maybe
you have
a day.
like an ice pack. You're like, hey,
like a post fight, like a post fight. The dick's like, I don't know why.
First of all, this guy at one of our events, I don't know if I told you this story. So he calls, he says, hey, I watched the way you walk. I've been following the content. I want to gift you something. I go, okay, cool. What do you want to gift me? You watch the way I walk. He says, I want to give you some stem cells. I said, you want to give me some stem cells? Yeah, I'm based out of, Beverly Hills, all this stuff. I'm like, all right, so I'm going to L.A. for a wedding, George's wedding.
Okay.
So we go there. They, NAD, they give the NAD, they do all this stuff. And then he puts, first the doctor came in, anesthesia, I'm knocked out. Jen's in the room. They recorded 80 million stem cells in my lower back that I got.
What?
Yeah, 80 million stem cells. Each treatment was 10 million. They put 80 million into it.
Whoa.
And I walked out, very weird, sleeping at night. I couldn't sleep all night. I don't know why. Maybe it was the NAD combination with it. I just couldn't sleep.
Coming out of that probably doesn't help.
Probably you're right. And it was late at night, by the way, when we did that, because I landed in LA, went to his place, did that, boom, got back to the hotel at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's probably not a good idea to do it at a time like that. But to me, if you want to ask me, did the stem cells do anything to my lower back to make progress? Zero.
No?
Nothing changed. No. Nothing to me. I've heard mixed reviews, but to me, no problem.
I've done a Waste to Well in Austin, Texas. They've done stem cells on my knee, on Tim's shoulder. They did it on Tim's Achilles. He just tore his Achilles like 12 weeks ago, and he's walking around really good.
12 weeks.
Yeah, I think it might even have been 10 weeks ago, something like that. But he's doing really well. I've had good benefits from stem cells. He's having good benefits from it, but I've heard mixed feelings, but mostly I've heard good things about it.
So here's one of the guys I was talking to here. They said the best stem cells you can get are not in America. The best stem cells you get has to be outside because the regulation here doesn't allow it to be the most natural, potent thing to put in your body. And you have to be overseas to do it, whether it's like, who was the guy? We had a guy on the podcast. You know who I'm talking about. I said, when he said, look, man, I want to come to the podcast, but I just came from Turkey. So what are you doing in Turkey? He said, well, Turkey is the best place to go to get a hair transplant, right? That's why I'm in Turkey. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Great. What's the business model? 25,000, whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, cool. Germany, I think Kobe used to go to Germany to get his knee stem cells in it. Not in the States, in Germany. So maybe part of that is the fact that in States is not the highest potent quality as somewhere else.
I've heard people argue this back and forth, and I'm gonna probably not butcher it, but I don't know. I've heard that that's not necessarily the truth. They can put way more stem cells in you out of the country than they can here, but there's no science that says more is necessarily better. Because if you only need a certain amount, say you need 10 million. They put in the United States, they put 10 million in you, but in another country, they put 40 million in you. There's no real science benefits that 40 is better than 10. And then the 40 there is the stem cells copied, rather than the 10 million you're getting in the United States are all 10 million, like they're the fresh compared to the 40 million's copied of the 10 million. So I've heard it argued both ways. But the one lady that I was talking to in Texas, and I'm sure everyone, in Texas, they're going to say it's better. But the lady in Texas, ways to well, that was explaining it to me made the most sense, that not necessarily more is better.
Well, I mean, in Texas, it's becoming even more and more. And one of the, Texas is a sports state. So, it's always anywhere. There's just Florida, same thing. Yeah. Here, California. But one of my executives, I'm not going to give the position because my guys are going to know what this is, because he bragged about stem cells, that it really helped him out in many different ways, including one of the ways you were attempting to do. It worked for him positively, in a major way. But he said the best way to do it is to get pull stem cells actually from your bone. So they literally drill you in the bone, and you smell the drilling on your spine.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, type in stem cells from your...
That hurt my butt. I have to be a
type in stem cells and then put spine. Spine. It's like Mike Tyson saying spinal.
I broke my back.
Where does it say that they get it drill from your back? There it is. Injected stem cells calls for... No, anyway, so there's a... So they get it from there. It's the best one, and then they can put it anywhere in your body, and it's the most potent way of doing it because it's your own. So the body is not having to convert somebody. I mean, he was explaining it to me and he's one of the most detailed guys. Zoom in a little bit on what that's saying, Rob, right there.
Bone marrow. Oh, dude.
Yeah, there you go. Bone marrow is a spongy material that fills the bones. These stem cells develop into the red blood cells, white blood platelets, and red blood cells contain
hemoglobin. What a good word.
White blood cells are part of the immune system. So, yeah. So again, this is why we are in a different business than this. We let the professionals do this. Yeah, we'll let the professionals do this. But that is what the last conversation was. So, Vinny, are you convinced that you're going to go ahead and do that? Is that what your plan is?
I'm going to see if he has the phone number to Mexico.
The Pecker one?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
Rob, what are you laughing about? You don't want to come? You're going to let me go to freaking... I mean, the border, it's a crazy situation over there, but I'd still, why not? Is what I'm basically trying to say.
Maybe even you put like a before and after pictures.
Yeah, there you go.
Because by the way, my back is in bad shape too, so I'll get a twofer.
Do you eat healthy?
I eat very healthy.
All right.
Yeah. So, can I ask that question too? Because Sean, you used to eat a lot of junk food back.
Oh yeah.
And so you said it hurt your back.
Oh yeah.
It messed up your back.
I mean, it messed up anything that was. I'm going to try to wrestle and spar, and then I go home and eat a Hot Pocket and some fucking Cheetos. It's just pure inflammation. There's no nutrients in that food. It's just going straight to those injuries, causing inflammation. So
and then you started to go. So you went vegan for a little bit. And you just say
Yeah, I tried
wasn't,
that.
and it was messed up. But then you said you went back to meat because it helped you felt like manlier
Stronger,
and your
yeah.
energy and your
Yeah.
everything. So you're back to.
Fucking.
But you eat
good
the
steak.
good grass-fed, grass-finished. You don't play
Yeah.
games with any of that stuff.
Yeah, I've switched to grass-fed, grass-finished, and a lot of this shit I learned on fucking podcasts, listening to Rogan talk. It's like, okay, you can get grass-fed at your local store, but it's not grass-finished, and it's so there's a big difference, and blah blah blah. So yeah, I try to just keep up to date with that stuff, grass-fed, grass-finished beef, and try to eat as healthy as possible.
Any other questions you got about the stem cell, your health? Because I know Dr. O'Malley's here, so take advantage of this with.
Doc,
my mom was a nurse, so I'm.
Oh, she was.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I know some
perfect.
shit.
Perfect.
My dad was a cop, so I can.
He can arrest you or prescribe you something. One of the two. Anyways, it's great having you on. We're going to see you this Saturday.
Yep.
We're looking forward to it.
Enjoy the show.
And even more than anything else, excited about the next 5 years to see what's going to happen with you. Really excited for it, rooting, because I think the fight game needs doesn't need it. It's always more exciting because what Dana's produced and what the guys have produced, I'll never forget what Michael said. It's the best compliment he ever gave to the game. I loved it. When LeBron first came to the league, LeBron was being interviewed about Michael and all this stuff. He says, I believe the NBA needs to permanently retire the number 23 jersey. We're like, oh, wow, what a noble thing to say. And then they go ask Michael about it. Do you know the story, what Michael said?
No.
They go ask Michael. They say, so Michael, LeBron earlier said that he feels they need to retire your jersey permanently, that no one on any team can ever wear the number 23.
Jesus.
You know what Michael's answer was? Michael says, that's very kind of him. He says, but the game is bigger than one player. I'm just one player.
Wow.
What a freaking guy.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the league, if it's a real good league and good guys come after, it's their job to make the league better. You're going to get judged on making a league better.
100%.
And I'm excited to see who's going to make the league better next. You're definitely one of the guys that makes us spend the money to go out there and keep watching this fight. And you got fans here, man, rooting for you.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you for coming out. Gang, we're doing a home team podcast. I believe, Rob, are we home team tomorrow? Tomorrow morning we'll do it. This week we're doing 5 days podcast. And Friday we have Chris Cuomo and Candace Owens at the club. That sold out very quickly. But we will see you guys every day this week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.